You said, walk to me and I'll run to you. Call me and I'll show you. Hiding like a pearl for you to heal and guide you from.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Amma ba'd. Fa'udhu billahi min ash-shaytan ar-rajim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ya ayyuhan nasu attaqu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum min nafsin wahidah. وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا صدق الله العظيم اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه السلام عليكم والسلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. ये दरवाज़ा बंद कर दे. Alhamdulillah, by the fadl of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wa jalla wa ala, we are in the month of Shawwal, and the month of Shawwal is the month, as you know, which just follows the month of Ramadan. And in Ramadan we are supposed to purify and develop ourselves in order that we may perform and we may live out ये देखिए कोई हुवर मार रहा है उसको कहीं जरा बाद में ये बात we may live out and we may perform according to the purpose of existence for which Allah Jalla Majduhu created us. And amongst the major parts and themes of life, and especially on this face of the earth, is our earthly life. An important and major aspect in the social relationship and living with people is marriage and coming together of two human beings as husband and wife. In such a way that they perform and they live and fit in the bigger picture of human existence. It can never be seen as an isolated relationship or something separate from the actual purpose of existence, because it is supposed to be part of that. If someone will look towards it with a different view, with a different view in relation to the marriage, contrary to the overall purpose of life and existence, that person has very simplistic and superficial view. It is as though they have placed or they have started building or their house of marriage on sand, on a beach, on a sand base where there is no foundation. And it is just a matter of time that that person will be disappointed in one way or the other. And the loss can happen and take place in two dimensions. One is the bigger loss, a major loss, the real loss, and one is the lesser. If two people come together, a man and woman, husband and wife, and they're coming together causes them to lose the real purpose and their real capital, then even though they might consider themselves successful on some level, but they will lose. Is that a person something good, something strong on a ship which is sinking. So no matter how good quality construction that is, let's take the example of the Titanic ship. So many levels, or you may say parts, and different parts of the ship were built very strongly, very beautifully. They had first class, second, others, special cabins, special floors. So no matter how much good they were in one of the servant quarters where the servants and the workers used to live, or you were in the executive suite. But because the ship sank, they both failed. It would be utter foolishness for the executive suite people or the first class travelers to think, yes, we are very successful, at least we are in the first class. Because the overall function of the ship was to stay afloat and actually take the people and passengers to their destination. And if it failed, it doesn't matter how good the place was where you had, and or the drinks and the food and the relationship and the friendship you made with friends, that all that actually collapsed. And if a person, like to some it happened, they were sitting not on the ship, was very luxurious ship, but actually on a lifeboat where only one person could sit. And without any other protection under the sky, without food and facilities. But they reached their destination. They will be considered successful who are traveling on a small boat and hit the shore or reach the shore, compared to those who were traveling in the luxurious high-class ship because they didn't reach their overall purpose. So similar to this, marriage has an overall purpose to fit in with the higher level purpose for what a human being exists for, what they have been created. And second is just temporal enjoyments and things. So if the person is successful living simply, but in compliance, in conformity with the higher level purpose, that person will be considered successful, and he is and she is successful. And the others, they might live and have all the luxurious things, but if overall purpose is not achieved, then they will be deemed unsuccessful. So I will give another example, second example. Now let's take an example from a marriage. A person, two people get married, husband and wife, they are living in a palace. And they are not sincere to each other, and always there is chaos and calamity and fight and disputes. And whilst the other couple are living in a hut, and they are living happily, so they will be considered successful. So for marriage, also there is an overall purpose, how it fits in the overall purpose of human existence. And then there is secondary things. So we hear the teachings we have through Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, and before him all the Anbiya alayhi salam, the teaching which they gave. There is a higher purpose, and a person who will have concept contrary to that, they will definitely be disappointed, because it will not fit. As I say, it is a sinking ship then. So let's examine that the marriage is part of this earthly life. And the creator of this earth and earthly life is Allah Jalla Majduhu. What has He said about this life, so that we may, in that light, we can understand marriage. Otherwise, we are going to have unrealistic fairy tale and a kind of superficial, a meek idea and concept. And no wonder then actually divorce rates and separation rates, they are increasing day by day, and especially in the past 2 months during the lockdown, and now before the lockdown, and now there has been much increase, because those who were having a good relationship was mostly sometime because of they met each other very less. So they were never able to know the other personality, even though they were husband and wives. But now when the work finished, if the wife was working or the husband was working, now they both have to stay at home, and now they become more aware of their personalities. And when more and more personalities are known, and we are not world of angels, we are world of human beings, and majority are sinners. They make mistakes. We make mistakes. We are sin. Like the Prophet ﷺ said, Kullu bani Adam khata'un. All of the human beings, they commit mistakes. Meaning they are some way they disobey. Some way they do wrong things. So when we are living in the world of sinners and people who forget, people who make mistakes, majority will do that. Then coming together very much closer to know more each, most likely the majority will obviously have negative sides. And when they have negative sides, the other person will react to it. And similarly, they will have a negative side or some flaw, and the other person doesn't know how to deal with it. So it will be a disaster. So that is why recently it has increased domestic violence, divorce, separation, disputes, quarrels, and all these things. Why? Simply, there's nothing wrong with the lockdown or anything. It is because their wish was to live together all their life. But it is to now they have come more closer. So now, you know how difficult is it to know people. When we say we know someone or that person is good, we are saying it actually from outward. We say husband and wife know each other. Well, they don't know each other as well, as much as now they have the chance to know each other. And they obviously found flaws. And that is why these things increase. And they, plus, moreover, they do not know how to deal with it. That makes it more worst. So, this is the situation. So Allah Jalla Majduhu, overall purpose, let me mention, says who is the creator of earth, a creator of human beings, giver of the concept of marriage. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, over the overall purpose, He mentioned that تَبَارَكَ الَّذِي بِيَدِهِ الْمُلْكُ وَهُوَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ الَّذِي خَلَقَ الْمَوْتَ وَالْحَيَاةَ لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا وَهُوَ الْعَزِيزُ الْغَفُورُ. Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned, blessed is He in whose hand and power all whatever the kingdom is. He is the owner. And He has power over everything. So He created death and life. This is referring to this earthly cycle. Because there is other life as well. There was a life before we came here, there will be life after that. But this part and this circle of life, الَّذِي خَلَقَ الْمَوْتَ وَالْحَيَاةَ لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا, that this has been created and you have been sent so that you may be tested, you may be examined, who amongst you is best in conduct. So two things are mentioned. One is liyabluwakum, that you will be tested. Meaning this simply means that you will be put in situations, that every situation in this cycle of life and death, in one way or the other, is really a test for you. You are being examined. So there is a situation, there is a engineered situations you are placed in order to see your response. That who amongst you reacts in the best way. So second is ayyukum, that who amongst you, meaning you are the people who are in test. Third is ahsanu. Ahsan means the best, not just actually to survive or mediocre, but best. So when everything is going to be test here, examination here, how could it be that such a major part of one's life, a human life, for example, when they get in their 20s, they get married, and up to last they are married one more way or the other. So how can that be that equation of marriage is out of this philosophy or this purpose which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Jalla wa ala is outlining? It can't be. So this means that it fits in with that it is part and parcel of the test. Examination. So it's not going to be a smooth ride. Tests are not actually smooth always. If it is smooth, that is also a test. If it is challenging, that is also a test. Ni'mah, meaning blessing, or actually calamity, both. And Allah Jalla Majduhu mentioned there, ayyukum ahsanu, who amongst you is best. So the purpose of this life is to liyabluwakum, refers that Allah will put us in the situations we don't have control over. That when we are born, which parents we are born from, who is our uncle, who is our aunt, who is our mother, grandfather, grandmother, which country, which language we speak, our mother tongue. Many of the things we did not have control. Similarly, the situations every day, who wanted actually to see or be in the situation of coronavirus or anything. So the situation is not, weather changes, things changes, happens. Many matters happen day and night. They are not. So that is liyabluwakum, that Allah Jalla Majduhu is engineering and that is known as qadr. What is set by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are the tests. What is not set by Him is the reactions to those tests. So different situations. So Allah Jalla Majduhu said, ayyukum, who amongst you, that amongst you, ahsanu, the best, that they react in the best way. So from here we learn also that the purpose of this life is to react in the most beautiful and best manner to different situations, be it actually calamities, be it actually blessings, be it marriage, be it otherwise, whatever. So this is like a total statement, an overall purpose of this life. beautiful and best. That's where the word ihsan comes, that we should even worship in a beautiful manner. Allah Azza wa Jalla loves beauty. Inna Allah jameel wa yuhibbul jamal. All ugly acts, that's why they are sins. They are disliked by Allah Jalla Majdu. They are not beautiful. All good deeds, they are good. They are beautiful. They are positive. They are constructive. They develop you higher and higher. So this overall purpose that Allah Jalla Majduhu is indicating, ayyukum ahsanu amala ahsan. So in all matters I should be the most best according to my abilities. Amala, my deed also should be the best. My practice, my amal. And then Allah Jalla Majduhu said, وَهُوَ الْعَزِيزُ ذُو الْغَفُورُ. After this, Aziz means the one who is dominant. No one can withstand. So he's saying that if I want, I can make you do things. If not that, actually I cannot, but I have given you freedom. But yes, Ya Rabbal Alameen, we are still human beings. We may fall short after trying. Allah said, وَهُوَ الْعَزِيزُ الْغَفُورُ. I will cover if you turn to me for any deficiency. So after trying, a human being is after a human being, after all. So Allah Azza wa Jalla said, I will cover, I will protect you from the evil consequences of your deeds once you turn to me, or any deficiency, any gaps remain. You do your best. Ayyukum ahsanu, you do your best and leave the rest to me. You do your best and leave the rest. Allah Jalla Majdu. So now you have understood the overall picture. The overall picture is Allah Azza wa Jal is going to put us in situation. Marriage is also one of those situations and events, and He wants to see the best conduct. He didn't say best will happen to you. He said you should react and respond in the best way. Necessarily, best or good things it's not good things always will happen to you. There will be evil, there will be shaitan, there will be the evil of the nafs and ego, and other people will be wronging you. So Allah said, no, this is going to happen. All I am saying is that your response should be at the best level. And then leave rest to me. I am Wahu al-Azizul Ghafoor. So once you have this clear that all this game, this world, this life is test and to see my response, now this thing to get out of your mind, there is no fairy tale, just actually 100% romantic, enjoyable relationship, just actually without any test, without any challenges or anything. Now you should understand, and this reality should dawn upon you. Okay, this is not. That is the one mistake which many of us make, and then we are finding something. We are finding like fish in the air. Fish are in the sea if you are going to jump in the sea. And we find birds in the sea. Something is not going to be present there. So the bird of total romance and love and other things, and that there will be no hardship actually. And we are living in the sea. It will not be there. This world has night and day, cold, winter, hot weather, cold weather, all these things. So once one does that, one knows this, Then the next thing comes, if it is a test, then how shall I pass this test? How shall I pass this test? That is where necessary guidance Allah Jalla Majduhu gave, Prophet ﷺ gave, and in the light of that, Sayyidina Abdul Aziz al-Dabbagh, rahimahullahu ta'ala, wa Quddus Sirrul Aziz, one of the great awliya and one of the great Gnostics, the knowledgeable. He interpreted it. He made it easy as a bite size for us to understand and act upon. And if someone does act upon, almost success is guaranteed, because his advice is based upon Quran and Sunnah, and any person who follows, they are to be successful. So, once you have understood that it is going to be a test and challenge, and I should be ready to respond in the best way. One, Allah Azza wa Jal has given a hint already of successful for overall, for everything, not only for marriage or anything. One hint is already given there for success. And that is ayyukum ahsanu amala, that if you respond in the best way, not in an emotional way, not how people are doing, not actually how the norm is outside, not crowd following, not actually egoistic, not actually how you think, how others are telling, but no, best way which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned. Yes, if you respond his best way, that is a hint that you can be successful. Response is what matters. So, this is important. Allah Jalla Majduhu said in the Quran, the verses of Quran which I recited of Surah Nisa, where he said, O people, be mindful, Ya ayyuhan nasu ttaqu rabbakum. Be mindful of your Lord. Ya ayyuhan nasu ttaqu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum min nafsin wahida. He created you from a single person and created his partner from him. And then from the pair he spread countless men and women throughout the world. Be mindful of Allah, in whose name you make demands from each other. Allah watches over you. So Allah Jalla Majduhu mentioned this concept of taqwa, being mindful. Why a person is mindful? That they can save themselves. Taqwa is also a save. Save themselves from what? Going out of the limits, responding in a bad way, not in a good way. And in these verses which Prophet ﷺ used to read in khutbah of Niqah, these verses mention taqwa 4 times. Be mindful of Allah. Be mindful of Allah. Be ya ayyuhan nasu ttaqu wattaqullaha alladhi ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqullaha wa qulu qawlan ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqullaha haqqa 4 times. And you will find that taqwa is also related for practicing, for thought, and in morals, and in emotions. Also, there are 4 things which we need to be mindful of using those 4 things, namely the body, the actions, the physical, the mind, the thinking, heart, the moral self. We need taqwa in relation to that. Which moral are we cultivating? What are our rules? And 4th, type of taqwa in relation to the nafs, emotion, how are our emotions, how do we manage our emotions. So body, mind, heart and soul. 4 times taqwa is mentioned, and the Mashayikh have said, look it, 4 times mentioned, and there are 4 things really where husband and wife are going to deal with each other. Through these 4 faculties, body, mind, obviously they're going to think, heart, and actually soul. So don't have unrealistic and superficial, artificial view of marriage. Don't have that, because you are going to face reality. You can have fake and artificial and partial view, but the situation you are going to be facing will not be fake. It will be a real person, real situation. So yes, the Quran mentions in the Surah Ar-Rum that وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ, that amongst his signs is that he created you from yourselves mates that you may find tranquility in them, and he placed between you affection and mercy. Indeed, in that are signs of people who give thought. So Allah Azza wa Jal already placed some affection and mercy. If that is the case, Allah Azza wa Jal has already placed affection and mercy, and this is the mess which we are making. Imagine if it was not there even. And now, like, for example, there are certain things which Allah Jalla Majdu to a level programs people. Like, for example, opposite gender is attracted to the opposite gender. There is some attraction there. There is attraction, or you may say some affection between brothers and sisters, mothers, relatives. There is some affection, some love and thing. It's not necessarily every brother gets on with they have brotherly love, but it's not necessary. Every sister gets on, every child gets on with parents, every relative gets on with other relatives, though they have blood relation, they have some affection, which Allah Jalla Majdu has already placed in. But now to enhance and build on top of it, that is up to me. Similarly, husband and wife, Allah Jalla Majduhu mentioned that I have already placed some affection and love in there, tranquility in them. There is. But now how to develop, enhance and protect it. So that is the verse, but in other verses Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also mentioned at the same time, what if a spouse, a wife is rebellious, husband is rebellious or disobedient to each other, which is called nasheeds. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also refers to that as well. So in the 4th chapter of Quran, Allah addresses if a woman get out of line, how a man should interact with his wife. If he goes beyond that, are considered normative within Islam. So that verses are also there. We also find in Quran that Allah advises the women how to handle this situation. Allah says to the men, and live with them in kindness. وَعَاشِرُوهُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. Then also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, وَعَسَىٰ أَن تُكْرِهُ شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. For if you dislike them, perhaps, maybe you dislike a thing and there is goodness for you. That there is goodness in you, in that thing for you. وَعَسَىٰ أَن تُحِبُّ شَيْئًا وَهُوَ شَرٌّ لَكُمْ. And maybe you love something and there is shar in you. This is mentioned in relation to husband and wife. So that you dislike one thing, but maybe there's goodness, overall there is goodness for you. So these verses are also in the Quran. So no, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is recognizing that yes, these issues can happen between people. And then there is a full surah in the Quran. There is a joke, another joke, but real thing as well. Like some people have funny ideas. So one person comes, I am having problem between me and my wife. I should take some guidance. And someone told me that open the Quran and put your finger on, and whatever that is guidance, nasiha for you. But that's what you should do, this or that or whatever. Be nice or speak truth, etc. I said, well, look, there is nothing like this. This is an example I am giving you, some of it. So it said to him, look, this is not the way. The Quran gives particular guidance for situation. It's not like people have made fun of istikhara, meaning opening the Quran and putting fingers on it. He said, no, I just want you to tell me the meaning, what it means. I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, it's up to you, but this is totally out of order. So he opens the Quran and there comes Surah Talaq. I said, look now, the matter is I don't need now to any interpretation or anything. It's in front of you now. No, I don't want to give talaq. I said, then that's what he said. So, meaning there is actually, what I meant to say was that there is a whole surah of Quran which is named Surah At-Talaq, the surah of divorce, the chapter of divorce. So this means that Allah Jalla Majduhu recognizes that yes, there can be a divorce situation, there can be a nasheeds, which means rebelliousness, each other going out of boundaries. There can be a mismatch in some way that they say, we don't like this aspect of someone, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving guidance. But there is aspect of mercy, compassion, care for each other, where they're all. So a person who recognizes the overall picture, which is that it is going to be part and parcel of the test, and marriage will be full of test. It's not just a rosy picture that everything is going to be fine, fairy tale, or like in films and dramas, sometimes it is shown. And recognizing that it can be, all situations can be there, and I have to deal with it. It is a serious matter, and I should not take that view, because if you have that view, then no one is going to fit on that view, and so you will be able to live happily or even survive, because your view is totally unrealistic. Some people have unrealistic view of spouse before marriage, some actually after marriage. There are two types of things. And some people, they have unrealistic view before marriage, they have unrealistic. Some people, after they get married, they have unrealistic view. Both are actually in trouble, because it's not going to be like that. Unrealistic view. Let me give you an example. One person came, I am looking for a spouse. I want, okay, what is your demand? What is your actually acceptance? What is your requirement? Anything you want to? Yes, the son says, he didn't say verbally, he said, I've written it down. Here we are. And that's a list. That's how the age, the height, and the hair color, and the body, and all these things actually how. So that person, that son was said that, son, do you pray 5 times a day? Yes. Well, good. Now start praying tahajjud, because on these dimensions you will get hurs in Jannah. That heavenly women will actually fit your criteria, not anyone on the face of the earth. So if you do pray, good and well, start tahajjud, so you get there and you will get it there. Here, in this earth, you don't get this type of thing. And there are many people who are sitting at home and going over the marriage age because they've been waiting for their, princess of their dream or prince of their dream all life. And that's only found in dreams. It's not real anyway. And now they actually have reached age of, have reached 30, then above 30. Then now they are ready to accept even an average person. Average person is not ready to marry them because they've gone over the age. Firstly, they reject, oh no, I don't like this, I don't. He is too fat, he is too thin, he is too tall, he is not this, etc., etc. And now they say, let anyone come. And now no one wants to actually such entertain them. And then there are people who, after their marriage, they have this fairy tale type actually concept which is contrary to reality. And then, you see, if you are expecting something and it happens, you can deal with it very easily. Because you are expecting that this thing is going to happen. If you are expecting a road bump when you're driving, so you know there is a road bumps here. So the road is not smooth. So you will drive according to lower speed, mentally be prepared. But if you are not mentally prepared, you think it is a smooth road, actually like motorway, and in motorway speed you are going over road bumps, what is going to happen? The car will get out of control, plus you will injure yourself. So this is the situation that those people who think it's like going to be a very fairy tale type relationship, romantic and all 100%, everything rosy and things. And because they expect like this, and then unexpected things happen, which is tests come, it is very difficult. They say we can't stand it, or we are shattered now. It is, our inner selves and our minds are blown, and we never this happened, etc., etc. Until they actually come down to the reality. So Allah Jalla Majduhu in this verse mentioned 4 times as the Prophet ﷺ used to recite. Now Allah Jalla Majduhu mentioned, as I mentioned, that He created us, Ya ayyuhan nasu ttaqu, from one male, and then actually other from a partner from it, etc., and then from many men and women from there. So what is this verse saying? This verse is saying that this is purely the fadl of Allah, the grace of Allah, that Allah has created humanity, a number of humanity, and it increased. So we didn't deserve it. So we should be rather thankful that actually there are other human beings. We didn't deserve. If there was no Adam alayhi salam, was alone, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Sayyidah Hawa radiyallahu ta'ala anha. The other human beings now we are living, we take them for granted, but it is really fadl of Allah that we did not deserve. We should be thankful to see human beings. You see, during the lockdown, people went out the streets. They said, oh, we don't like to walk, there's no one. They go to parks, there's no one. They go to restaurant, if there's no person, they don't want to. They go to shopping center if they're alone. If they're alone in the town, there's no one in the town, everyone leaves, it's all your houses. It will seem like ghost town. So people are actually great blessing that they actually help you. They actually you may say, on the face of the earth, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spread them. They are like ornaments of the earth. Without them, there is not much attraction in anything. A lonely person will get depressed anyway. But what we are doing is fighting, quarreling, hating, disputing, and causing all to these people. And if they are not there, we are fighting over piece of land or things actually. And if people are not there, what will you do with land? Who are you going to show? What are you going to do on whole of this dam? For example, 50 acres, 100 acres, what are you going to do? So think this is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that this is that I am the one which actually did. That created you from a single person and created a partner from him, and then actually from there that pair he spread countless men and women, meaning in abundance, men and women. So this is fadl and grace of Allah. So when a person knows it is a test, and my marriage is going to be a test, and plus it is fadl of Allah. If this person was not there, if those people were there, I was living alone. Adam alayhi salam, it is said, felt lonely in paradise when there's every blessing there. When Sayyida Hawa was not there. So imagine here, if you, okay, you say, oh, I don't like this and I don't, and you say, and there's no one, no women exist on the face of the earth. And you are alone, you say, I don't like anyone. What will you do on face of the earth? You will die in loneliness. Yes, as they are human beings, they will, women and men both, they will have actually imperfections. As the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, Kullu bani Adam khata. So in relation to this, the advice which and the nasiha which Sayyidina Abdul Aziz Dabagh rahimahullah gives, which I wanted to share with you, one or two points in these 6-7 discourses. It is such that a person will be in the best, he will be practicing the best reactions and best deeds, and thus having a good, successful marriage life which will fit in with the higher purpose is to pass in the test as well, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created, the overall person, which is the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as well as also this life. But just before we finish, for today's, this was the first session, so I thought I'll give you a view. One of the reasons why people fail is that if you ask them, what does Niqah mean, they don't even know that. भाई निकाह का लफ्जी मतलब क्या है, वो भी कोई नहीं पता. वो लफ्ज है जी मियाँ, वो तो ठीक है साहब होते हैं, लेकिन भाई निकाह का आप जो बैठे हुए हैं इनसे पूछ ले, किसको पता आप में से निकाह का जो लफ्जी मतलब है तो हाथ खड़ा करें. What does literally the word actually nikah means literally? Marriage तो उसका मतलब नहीं है, वो तो it is like a figurative meaning. And those who are sitting here, no one is putting, and those who are listening, I don't know if you know, you should actually type in there. तो ये भी देखें ना, तो कामयाबी खाक मिलनी है, खुशी कैसे मिलेगी, हाउ हैप्पी, ये नहीं पता क्या कर रहे हैं, तो वो तो फिर दैट इज जस्ट लाइक क्राउड फॉलोइंग. भाई दूसरे भाग पड़े तो भाग पड़े, दूसरे अपना गिर गए तो गिर गए, ये पता ही नहीं. तो सुने निकाह का मतलब, द निकाह literal meaning, then the shari meaning. That's how we're actually. Nikah comes from the Arabic word, as you know, is very clear. Noon, kaf, ha, nakaha. Nakahan nu'asu. Nakahan nu'as, which means sleep intermingled with his eyes, or the way, two meaning. One is how eyes meet with sleep. देखें ना, this is eyes and sleep, how it meets. यानी जैसे आंख नींद के साथ मिलती, जैसे ब्रदर सिराज की मिली हुई हैं. So how the eyes meet with sleep. एक तो मीनिंग उसका ये है. लेकिन eyes, they meet sleep or they do not. They meet sleep. But how do they meet sleep? How is the relationship? यानी आंखें जिस तरह नींद के साथ मिलती हैं, नींद और आंखों की शादी होती, समझे तो कैसे होती है वो? When eyes are closed, नींद होती है तो उसका और आंखों का नींद का कितना गहरा ताल्लुक है. इट इज सो डीप एंड सटल रिलेशनशिप के आंख खुले तो नींद भी खत्म. कैसे भी हो सकता है आंख खुले? कई बंदे पहले सम पीपल स्लीप वॉकिंग, बट एक्चुअली नॉर्मली when you open your eyes, the sleep is gone as well. So eyes have a relationship with it. This is one meaning. And also the other meaning it comes, nakahal matarul ard. Nakah, same word is used. Nakahul matarul ard, or the way in which raindrops get absorbed in the ground. The way which the raindrops get absorbed. कि जिस तरह बारिश के कतरे, बारिश होती है तो वो ज़मीन के अंदर सिम जाते हैं. बारिश अंदर चली जाती है, ज़मीन के अंदर पानी, उसको भी अरबी में कहते हैं. जब बारिश हो रही, when rain is, the raindrops, and when they are absorbed by the ground, that process is called nakah al-matar ard. This is said when the rain water passes through the dry exterior and reaches the land's interior, which is soft and damp. So what does it mean? ये देखें ना, two meaning now, you know. भाई निकाह का मतलब, the nikah means like relationship the eyes have with sleep, or the raindrops when actually they are absorbed in the earth. These examples illustrate what the Quran designates as a family matter between man and wife. Through wedlock, which is called nikah. Now comes the word nikah from there actually. What it means? It means that a relationship between a husband and wife should be like a relationship of eyes and sleep. Husband and wife should be figuratively be absorbed into each other as sleep gets absorbed by the eyes. So like the sleep get absorbed by the eyes. So husband and wife's relationship should be such that they absorb each other. Or the way in which the rainwater is absorbed by the ground. In the husband and wife relationship should be like the sleep is absorbed by the eyes, or the rainwater is absorbed by the earth, ground. This sort of relationship can last a lifetime only if the couple's values and beliefs are the same as, and their way of thinking is alike. This is the basic conditions for a successful nikah. So if nikah happens, it should be like this actually. See how relationship with eyes and actually and the raindrop sinks in. That a deeper relationship, not a superficial relationship. Like here people normally there are many kinds of physical marriage, spiritual marriage, and mental marriage, psychological marriage, emotionally being married. There are all these things actually, as they say. But if it is a superficial one, raindrops are coming, but they're not being absorbed, there's not going to be any vegetation and things. It will just standing. And eyes do not meet this, if they don't absorb sleep, a person will be sleepless. आंखें तो उसने बंद की हुई हैं, सो नींद आती नहीं, तो वो ताल्लुक जो है वो ठीक नहीं. So this is to understand the subtle relationship that actually that one gets absorbed. Absorb. What does absorb mean? Absorbedness mean actually that a person should understand the other person. Understand the other person. Eyes, like they absorb sleep, that they understand there's a link between eyes and sleep. That actually, when you don't have sleep, you close your eyes, and slowly the sleep follows. Or when you have overwhelming sleep, the eyes actually start closing. They follow. There's a relationship. When how eyes meet sleep, or how the raindrops actually are absorbed. So the example of raindrops and absorbed, that one, new people, new things, husband and wife, they are separate entities. Rain is something separate. Ground is something separate. So when they absorb, the ground absorbs, and then actually how much pleasant the ground comes. Greenery, fruits, flowers, that's how the marriage becomes, if they get absorbed. If you do not actually understand each other, have a deeper relationship, meaning to know how people think, how the other thinks, how the other actually, what are the fears, what are the anxieties, what is the emotional state of the person, etc., etc. All these things, actually fully absorbing, understanding, and then actually one can benefit. And if sleep, and similarly eyes and sleep relationship. If eyes and sleep both meet, so how peaceful the human being lies and sleeps. Peaceful, how much freshness, how much peace the person gets when actually eyes and sleep meet. A person is getting refreshed. A person is having tranquility. And those who have superficial relationship, जिनका ऊपर से तल्लक है, भाई आंखें बंद है, सोया कोई नहीं हुआ, यही बेईमानी. इसी तरह शादी में भी वही तल्लक है, रखा हुआ है, लेकिन ऊपर से उनका फिर ऐसे ही जैसे जिस्म थका है, वो भी थकावट, नींद तो पूरी हुई नहीं, फिर मसला ही बनना है. It's going to be a problem. Similarly, if the rain drops and the ground does not let the water absorb, there's not going to grow anything. There'll be no good result in that marriage. So it is. So Quran also gives another libas. وَأَنْتُمْ لِبَاسٌ لَهُنَّ لِبَاسٌ لَكُمْ أَنْتُمْ, gives the analogy of dress, that libas, that you are their libas. So this means, ये तो अभी वो guidance नहीं है, वो Quran, Hadith, what Sayyidina Abdul Aziz Daba, what they said, वो तो नहीं, this is not, this is just the literal meaning, the lughat में जो, where the word nikah comes from. At least वहाँ तो समझ ले बंदा. That actually I have to absorb, understand, open myself, accept, consider, and all these things. And then, inshallah, there is going to be some fruitful result. So today's session we will finish here. And if you have any question, inshallah, in relation to what has been said, because there will be, as I said, that inshallah I'm going to share some specific advice and all the topics we have mentioned, conflict resolution and other things, and how to avoid conflict, how to, etc., do things. But basic concept should be clear first. Astaghfirullah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Hassan, there's one question on YouTube. Brother Tariq Hussain, or Facebook, sorry. He's saying, can somebody else do istikhara on behalf of someone? Also, is it compulsory for a person to be praying the 5 times daily for the prayer? Jazakallah khair.
Firstly, you see, the best person to do istikhara when Rasulullah ﷺ taught was Prophet Islam himself, for example. Who can be better than him? But no companions, they didn't ask him to do istikhara. It is your matter that you do istikhara. What did they do with the Prophet ﷺ? They did mashwara. They consulted him. Mashwara आप दूसरों से करें, अब उल्टा काम ना करें कि मशवरा दूसरों से करें, इस्तिखारा खुद करें. इस्तिखारा दूसरों से और मशवरा अपने आप से, ये कोई अक्लमंदी नहीं है. This is not wisdom. कभी consult yourself and do istikhara, and others do istikhara. You should consult others, get opinions of others, wise people, their view, and istikhara actually for yourself. Because istikhara, you don't get do it or don't do it. Istikhara is you're asking goodness and betterment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that in this matter, and you should do. This is the sunnah, this is the Prophet Islam sallallahu alaihi wasallam teaching. Yes, there are people who want to make income and money. They say, we'll do istikhara for you. Find one example where Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did istikhara for someone else. He never. He did give advice and mashwara, but he taught istikhara to others. So yes, as I said, if you want to make money, yes, you can open a shop and sit there. I do istikhara for people, meaning as though you have a direct line to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and helping people. और पता ये भी नहीं अगले बंदे की जेब में पैसे कितने हैं. Meaning these people who claim all those the source of these things, this is very, very, unrealistic and wrong. You think Allah Azza wa Jalla has given special telephone lines to some people कि भैया आप मुझसे पूछ के लोगों को बता दिया करो? नहीं, ऐसी बात नहीं है. So, and second question, is it compulsory to pray? You see, 5 prayers are compulsory. You do istikhara or not. वो तो फर्ज है. It's not going to change. वो तो है ही compulsory. But can you do istikhara? Yes, you can do istikhara whenever you. But 5 prayers are compulsory anyway. वो तो पढ़ नहीं आ रहा हालत में.
Another question, this one on YouTube. A sister is asking, Assalamu alaikum, marriage is a two-way thing, but what if a person, i.e. the wife, is doing most of the bringing up? She's trying to bring up in the way of the deen, but the other spouse isn't involved.
Yes, you see, the thing is that you should do whatever you can. You cannot force the other person actually to do something actually, because person might say, I am not doing it. So you are responsible as far as that you can do. Yes, an idea, I always, in the beginning I mentioned, this is a wrong idea which people have in their minds. This is going to be an ideal venture or ideal actually relationship. It's not going to be an ideal. There will be mismatch, there will be problems. So the successful, inshallah, keep listening to tomorrow I will do it in Urdu and then inshallah, then again in English. So listen to these 5, 6, 7, how many ever discourses, and you will find answers to many of these problematic questions. But the thing is that the answer to your question is that you do as best as you can, and Allah Jalla Majduhu will help you, and inshallah you will be free from blame of any other kind. If the other side, other partner is not doing, they are sinful and they are also liable. And inshallah, Allah Azza wa Jalla always said in the Quran, Inna Allah la yudiyu ajr al-muhsin. Allah never wastes any wage, or you may say result or fruit or of a good doer. A good doer person will always get actually a good result from Allah Jalla Majduhu, ajr from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in dunya and akhirah.
Another question on YouTube. A sister is asking, Assalamu alaikum. If somebody feels uncomfortable around certain people due to past conflicts, although now resolved, how can you still be careful if you are going to live with them under the same roof? Jazakallah.
Yes, the thing is that do not try to be alone with them, number one, because actually if anything happen, then there's no witness, nothing, anything can trigger. Number two, do not do any financial dealings with them. And number three, do not argue with them, just actually saying, how are you? Yes, Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam, that's it. That type of relationship. And do not deal. And number five, do not share any secrets with them, your own secrets now actually with them, because you already had this conversation. And number six, do not speak, even if they say something about other people, do not even say, yes, that's you're right or anything like this. Do not speak ill or confirm any ill statement about other people, bad statement, because that is. So inshallah, if you do that, so hopefully you will be safe.
Another question on YouTube. Assalamu alaikum. What are halal ways to seek marriage? Jazakallah khair.
Sorry?
What are the halal ways to seek marriage?
Yes, actually, alhamdulillah, there are so many channels, so there's so many ways actually. One is actually that you can, if you are parents, your elders, they should seek actually a proposal for you. Other is there are so many websites these days as well. That is, there's no haram, not haram anywhere. They're actually a person, if it's in compliance with Sharia, and one can actually send letters or one's profile, etc. Thirdly, is there are people who are like agents or who do as a welfare thing, that they look for proposals for you. Then it's your friends and family, and foremost in the beginning, a person should always ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for help, because He knows everything and He has power over everything. And then after, one should try. And when one finds, then one should do istikhara as well.
Another question on YouTube. My sister is asking, what if a person has no love, no trust, but they still live their life for Allah's sake and for the children in a marriage? How does one deal with this? Because many times spouses constantly lie, and you can hardly bring back the trust. Once it's gone, it's gone.
See, when you have not trust of the other, but you have children, you are just living, there are different levels of living. There are husband and wife who would share everything with each other. Their bank accounts are same, their properties is same, their everything is same. Then there might be, if you're living for the children's sake, but you do not get on with well, you don't trust each other, there is no trust, etc., etc., because it has been violated, or the person have actually violated it again and again, then you don't have to share your property, your earnings, your savings, and mention all these things. It's just a matter of living together, doing your part, and actually getting through life. That's the case. So I would say actually financially, and a person should not actually mix things. And other is the trust. If a person have lost trust, then do not share any such secrets which can be used against you or actually be used against other people. So ये चीज़ है.
Another question on YouTube. Somebody's asking, Assalamu alaikum, how to convince the parents of a girl for interracial marriage. Although the girl is ready to marry with the boy, what is the right way to convince them according to Islam?
See, the right way to convince them is that the girl should convince them. Obviously not self, meaning obviously they would not listen to you because if they are against it for some reason. So it is the girl who should, I would advise actually sons and daughters who are to be married, and then sometimes they don't make their choice known, and they stay under pressure, and then what they do is sometimes they run away from home or actually do things like this. This is unwise way to do it. Rather than being silent and running away, and then after all the world knows you what you've done, and then you come back. So the best way is to, while staying at home and making the parents know that that's the decision and that's you are going to do it with them or without them, and that I should. So once they know this, plus a person can get, rather than the spouse or the expected spouse, or one should get involved, family members, elders on your side, so they also have a word that if you do not do, then they might actually run away, they might have illicit relationship. And after all, if the person is genuine, then a person, but sometimes the person is not genuine, they just actually, or she is just doing for temporal type actually relationship, and parents can see this is not matching, their daughter or son is going to be at their doorstep again. So I would ask them to also consider this, that you are saying that person is genuine, that's not valid. It is the independent people, let's say other than your parents, same age people, see what they say. If they are also, if their view, then most likely it's better not to. But if they say this person is fine, but just because of interracial relationship it's happening, then and this person like he's asking a question, that is the information if passed on to the girl, that she should convince the parents, mentioning the credentials and actually other things, so that it satisfies them. And also keep praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the turner and changer of hearts of people. So one should also consider, if it is a person who is considering that girl who can't even stand and say, I want to get married and I want to get married to this person here at home, how will she actually fulfill the other or live up to other decisions of life you have to make? You have to show some strength. So both should actually check each other.
Another question on YouTube. Brother Abdullah, Sri Lanka, he says, Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. And his question is, how can one observe patience whilst watching a wife making a mistake?
Like how you observe patience when you look at yourself making mistakes, same way. You think you are sinful, a sinless person, You never do. So how you're patient with yourself, be patient with her as well. But inshallah, with more detailed and specific advice regarding this, because there are situations where a person have to face, inshallah, I will be giving. So listen to this full series, how many, inshallah, 7 or 5 lectures, English or Urdu, and you will, inshallah, get more specific answers and solutions to actually this, that how can a person be patient, rather more better than being patient. How can a person be thankful?
One last, it's not a question, but it's more a request for dua. So a person is asking, my uncle and auntie who are severely ill, and also for myself, I went to hospital for kidney-related issues, and on Monday they are going to do kidney biopsy test.
Right. Inshallah, we will do dua, you yourself as well, and whoever is ill, they should, there is a prophetic amal of to do 40 times, La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu minaz zalimin. La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu minaz zalimin. The Prophet ﷺ said, whoever will do 40 times this ayah of Quran, recite, and if he gets well, he will be as though she is born today. And if that person dies, he is a forgiven person as though he does not have any sin at all. So, so this is a good, mashallah, good amal which a person can do. Or to nahi kuch?
Just one final one. Someone is asking, saying salams, what should someone do when a husband got secretly married and now living overseas with a new wife and left no avenues to contact him? What's the best action?
See, if the person is not contacting actually the wife, having no relationship, then the wife can take khula. That's what I say actually. Khula means actually that she can apply to Sharia council and get divorced if he is not, no contact, nothing. So how is he fulfilling her rights? Kind of thing. If not, if there is, it's just now a temporal thing, because some people, they just have actually this temporal type of fit or episode of this actually romantic type relationship until they see the other side of the real side of the person. So they come back. So I would say one should wait at least 1 year and then actually make a final decision, inshallah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Ya Rabbil Alameen, Ya Arhamar Rahimin. Forgive us of our wrongdoing, shortcomings, and our sins, and Ya Rabbil Alameen. All those people who are in wedlock, are married, enable them to realize the true purpose of existence, the true purpose of their marriage, and their rights, and whatever, anything, if it's deficiency or shortcoming in their understanding, in their dealings, enable them to realize it and rectify it. And whatever goodness they have, enable them to enhance it, and enable every husband and wife to appreciate each other for the blessings and forgive each other for the mistakes and overlook. And Ya Arhamar Rahim, grant tranquility and peace, and all those who are still looking for partners and spouses, Ya Rabbal Alameen, facilitate for them, make it easier for them. All those who are ill, Ya Rabbal Alameen, grant shifa. Those brothers and sisters who have asked questions which they are suffering problems in the marriage, some one way or the other, Ya Rabbal Alameen, rectify them. Give every married couple tranquility and peace and unanimity in their house, and love and bond, so that they may fulfill the rights of each other. Ya Arhamar Rahimin, help all the Muslim men and women and whole of the earth to establish the deen in themselves and actually invite others. And Ya Rabbal Alamin, bless all the non-believers and the kuffar with the light of faith, with truth, and whatever is beneficial for them. Ya Arhamar Rahimin, Ya Arhamar, all those brothers and sisters who asked questions, bless them with knowledge and wisdom. Enable us all to learn and increase our knowledge, increase our amal, increase our ikhlas day by day until the day we leave this earth. We are at the highest level of iman, highest level of ikhlas, highest level of Islam, and highest level of pleasure in relation to you, Ya Arhamar Rahimin. وصلى الله على النبي الأمي وعلى آله وسلم تسليما آمين.